Well, hello and howdy ho everyone, Foxy Games here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Full Story Playthrough. Well, when we left off, we let the big dragon mama out of her restraints. Where once sat Tiamat, now sits an empty containment platform, never to be used again. And we have a problem. Lunar Bahamut has been sighted in Paglothan, the home of the Eorzea. So let's have a quick chat with our friends. I'll be fine. Plenty of time to recover on the airship. Well, very good. You're gonna need it. Well, I'm sure you're desperate to join Estinian and Tiamat in battle. 'Twould be wiser to gather the full strength of the Scions first. The foe we face demands no less. Indeed. I've already sent word to the others. We're to rendezvous in Ul'dah in the Hall of Flames. Let us collect Alphino and be on our way. We have a dragon to slay. It's been a while. Hopefully the last Allagan mistake we have to correct. Though I won't hold my breath. And the game did us a solid and brought us straight here. First the spat of abductions, and now an attack on the Eorzea homeland. What do the Telafroi aim to achieve with all of this? Well, I'll give you one good guess. If you're worried about me, don't be. I got some rest during the flight, and now I feel ready for anything. As I'm sure you recall, our involved in Fordola were bound for Paglothan. I pray they have not come to any harm. I'm sure they're fine. By happy coincidence, Kryl and I were in the process of concluding our inquiries when news reached us of Lunar Bahamut's return. There is much to discuss, but it will have to wait. Of the foe we face, we know but little. Though time be of the essence, we must not stint in our preparations, lest our haste to fly to the aid of the Eorzea cost us our best chance of victory. Now, I know some of you could do with a rest, but I'm sorry to say the Telafroi have other plans. Paglothan is already under siege. Happily, the Immortal Flames arrived just in time to join the defensive effort, with Marshal Terrapin at their head. Well now, given the failure of the peace negotiations, I was uncertain how the Sultanate would respond. 'Tis good to hear that Ul'dah has not abandoned the Eorzea. Abandoned them? Did we not profess to be their friends? Who's that? Oh, it's the Sultana. And Master Papashan. Your Grace! Marshal Terrapin has made provisions for such an exigency, that's a word, and was ready to depart at a moment's notice. All that was required was the agreement of the Syndicate, each of whom voted in favor of intervention. Nor is Ul'dah alone in her resolve. The other Alliance nations have likewise dispatched their troops to Paglothan. Yet even with our combined strength, we shall be sorely tested, for we face not only the might of an Imperial Legion, but Lunar Bahamut and his draconic horde besides. Tiamat's children. Fight as we may, victory is by no means assured. But not all of the omens are grim. Our forces report that despite their proximity to Lunar Bahamut, none of the Eorzea show any signs of tempering. Strange. What primal would turn down a chance to claim new thralls? Unless it is incapable of doing so. Primals are not wont to serve a master, Ascian or otherwise. It may well be that Lunar Bahamut differs in some fundamental manner from those we had previously encountered. If that were true, anyone could fight him, and Foxy and others like her wouldn't have to shoulder the burden alone. Be that as it may, Lunar Bahamut remains an incalculably powerful foe whom our soldiers will struggle to best through mere force of arms. With the aid of the Scions, however, I believe they will fare rather better, assuming, that is, you are ready to take to the field. An airship awaits to bear you to the front. Pray set forth as soon as you're able. I, meanwhile, shall continue to coordinate our forces. Till next we meet, may the 12 bless and keep you. It was kind of her to speak with us personally. You may be certain she has no shortage of other responsibilities. Well, I, for one, am inclined to do as Her Grace requests. Lest you forget, Ironwald and Fordola are in Pagothan on reconnaissance. The sooner we save the day, the better their chances. Indeed. To the airship, then. Let's go save our friends, both the Amalja and Ironwald and Fordola. Lest thou wonder, I have attended to Thancred's ammunition and completed mine own preparations. I trust thou canst say the same for thine. Of course. Try as I might, I cannot fathom why the Talafaroi would move to attack the Amalja. If Fandaniel's objective is death and destruction, one of the city-states would surely have been the better target. No, they have some other agenda, one encompassing the recent abductions, perhaps. Do you think Estinian and Tiamat have already reached Pagothan? Ah, but I should know better than to speculate on the whereabouts of the Azure Dragoon. Forgive me. Game? 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 Fuck! Well, one crash later, and we're back. It is not impossible that the Talafaroi redirected some of the troops stationed at the tower to the front line. If so, this may all turn out to have been to Ironwald and Fordola's benefit. Hopefully. Given what we know, some or perhaps all of the Imperial soldiers may have been tempered. If we can subdue them, we should be able to do something about that, but they would still see us as enemies even then. That said, they wouldn't be deaf to reason, which is better than nothing. So, the Talafaroi have constructed buildings capable of tempering and primals which are not? What secrets are they hiding? That's a good point, actually. I never even considered that. Greetings, we've been expecting you. But say the word, and we shall depart for Pagothan at once. Pagothan is now accessible. It's a dungeon. And we're going to go straight into that dungeon with a trust. Who shall we bring along? Well, who knows. Let's see who we've got. I feel like the Bahamut connection requires us to bring the twins. And we really haven't done anything with Y'shtola for a while, so I think this is a pretty, although, we have a lot of magic DPS. Ah, fuck it, who cares? Welcome to Pagothan. The Amalja don't lack for fighting spirit, but they do need our help. So let's get in there. Here they come. Alright. Looks like the Amalja have these guys covered. Let's keep moving. And we have dragons. Incoming. It does seem like the Trust AI was improved all around after the launch of Endwalker, which is great to see. Alphino is actually using, you know, offensive magic and not just sitting there waiting to heal. Oh. Hey, the kobolds are here. And as you can see, even the dragons are reciting "Glory be to Garlemald." This tempering goes deep. Oh, there's a kobold being attacked. And it's dead, unfortunately. Alright, most of our enemies are dead over here. Be able to move on. And looks like the kobolds brought some toys. They broke us a way through. Good work as always. The kobolds have proven to be staunch allies indeed. Here we are, our first boss at Zulmak's Citadel. It's fast, but not fast enough. Well, let's put it to the test. Oh, right. We want to not stand near those, lightning rods. Oh, no, wait. I did it wrong. I forgot how to do this fight, but I remember now. Damn it. Basically, you have to stick that lightning onto a lightning rod.
Let's give them a show.
Thank you, Eorzea, for blowing the limit break like you usually do. And down goes the first boss of Pagothan. Let us make haste. Indeed. Is that the Azure Dragoon? It is, and Tiamat.
The amounts are in trouble. Let's split up.
Such strength. Yeah, you don't fuck with dragons. Unless you're us, then you fuck with dragons. Alright, that group's down. On to the next. Ah, Emmerich and Lucia are here. We shall see the wounded to safely. You're needed elsewhere. That should give us a moment's rest.
Oh, no, you don't.
Ah, Estinian. Oh yes, and Tiamat has come to our aid. These things will fall in seconds, whereas before it would have taken us a minute. Man, this place has looked better. There's Tiamat again. I love this dungeon. There's everyone fighting side by side and... Oh, a necklace that I can use. Sweet. It's great. Alright, now this boss is kind of interesting. It's a bit different. You lend us your aid? Then let us crush this accursed war machine. We must hold our ground until the defenses are broken. Preparing to fire. Obviously stay away from the glowy. And dodge the missiles. Once the way is clear, strike at the enemy's heart. That would be now.
You underestimate me.
And now it's going to kick us off. And we're fighting ads again. Alpha let me go a little bit low there, but that's alright, we're okay. When the Amalja are not sitting idly by, they have a ton of people attacking this thing. Our flames will clear the way. Prepare to strike again. Once more with feeling, friends.
On guard.
There it goes. You fight well. Our brethren will hear of your brave deeds. I dread to think how that would have fared without the Amalja. I think we still would have been able to do it. But hey, they helped. Ah, that accursed tower. We're not getting there yet, apparently. And down they go. Alright, pick a dragon. Seems we're out of the desert. One last push. Alphino says he recognizes Bahamut's ether. I guess he would, considering, you know, he was with me during the fight. Oh, well there's our friend. He doesn't seem inclined to stay in play, though. I'll have to insist in a moment. Alright. Oh. Might be best if Tiamat falls back. Besides, I've killed this thing once before. This is not Bahamut, just a poor imitation. Imitation or no, we'd be fools to underestimate it. Let's put Fandaniel's toy back in its box. And down goes Lunar Bahamut. Not nearly as powerful as the original. Is that the last we've seen of Bahamut? Hopefully. Hopefully Tiamat's wounds are not too severe. The Amalja will not soon forget this day. These kobolds certainly know how to enjoy themselves. I think that's what he said. Our allies have steered well clear of the tower. Chest piece of scouting. Well, I can't use it. And it's a shame because it's fucking hot, but eh. Oh well. Be free, Dragon Mama.
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well. Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
You would make peace with Ul'dah then, or we would be proud to call you allies. Let's say that.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Guardians who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
Sometime earlier, inside the Pagelthon Tower.
What in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
quickly. We've got to get them free.
Get back!
No. What have I done?
It's too late for them. We're leaving, now.
No! Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together.
This is why you don't set up death flags for yourself like Eorzea so heavily did before he went out there. Oh dear. I should have known you'd be the one to end it. I hope now Tiamat will find some measure of solace. Here's hoping. To see the Amaja fighting alongside us brought to mind the Zun of the Crystarium. I pray that our peoples can forge bonds as strong as those of our counterparts in the First. From what I could tell, there didn't seem to be any Imperials in the vicinity of the tower. Hopefully Eorzea will have used the opportunity to get in and out undetected. Though the day is won, thanks in no small part to thy valor, the Tolofaroi are far from defeated. Yet be that as it may, 'tis only right that we rejoice in Lunar Bahamut's banishment unto the ether. It will take more than a single victory to wash away all the bad blood between men and Amalja, but one has to start somewhere. True. Tiamat did all she promised and more this day, but I doubt she will be satisfied. Nay, she will fight on in defense of her children, wheresoever they may be. While it would be too much to hope that we've seen the last of Fandaniel, we have dealt his schemes a telling blow this day, and that alone is cause to celebrate. And celebrate I will, when we've received word of Eorzea's safe return. Oh dear. Well, hopefully Eorzea's not dead. Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. Come, we must discuss the day's events with Pippin and her grace. Brave scions, who? Oh. Would that I could treat you to a hero's welcome, but I bear urgent news from the frontistry. Your grace, whatever's the matter? As our troops withdrew from Pagothan, they came upon the two scouts sent to the nearby tower. I have yet to hear a full account, but it seems that one of them, your friend I believe, had been wounded and was being dragged away by the other. Oh no. I must go. Forgive me, your grace. Can you tell us aught of Eorzea's condition, your grace? The wounded scout. Not save that it is grave. The chirurgeons tend to him even as we speak. The infirmary must be inundated with the wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. Foxy, Estinian, do you mind going after Alphino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see that the relevant people know what took place in Pagothan. Come on, then. Oh, Arenvald, you stupid heroic bastard. You better not give Alphino a reason to be sad. I take it Alphino is fond of Arenvald. I know how he feels, but hand-wringing isn't going to help anyone. You had better have a word. Yeah. Please tell me something, anything! Fordola. Instead of standing there gulping, why don't you tell your friend to stop whining like an underfed dog? People are fighting for their lives in there. Well, you have poor bedside manner, but what else is new? Another one comes to see the lad in silver armor. Master Demulo? I don't know. Master Demulo is attending to him as we speak. If you'd be so kind as to wait. What did Master Demulo say? Tell me his exact words. Enough, Alphino. This isn't helping, or let the Chirurgeons do their work. Let's be a little softer. Softer than Fordola, at any rate. But you're right. Forgive me. When we said our farewells to Arenvald, I was afraid that something like this might happen. But now that it has, all I can do is wait.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
Life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better, and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you'll lot'll be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
I know. I know. There is nothing more I can do here. Come on, let us rejoin the others. Ahem. Her Grace invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to join her in the Fragrant Chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the three of you be joining them? We will. It's so good to have Estinian back. He might not say much, but his presence is comforting.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fandaniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
You need only tell me where they are, Your Grace. I'm a primal killing machine.
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now. After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Eorzea have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Paglfan. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
And hopefully that same respite will find Arenvald. Amidst this great push for peace with the beast tribes, we would do well to remember that old prejudices yet remain. It is a delicate political dance, and I do not envy the Sultana her task, nor any alliance leader. If there is no reason to linger, I will take my leave. Already? Alphino knows only too well that sacrifices are an unavoidable part of conflict. But knowing something does not change how one feels about it. You yourself have shared adventures with Arenvald, have you not? Then I shall say no more. He's a good dude, Arenvald. With the secrets of the towers thus laid bare, our duty to prevent further abductions taketh on new import. Fail in this, and our enemies shall punish our negligence with a plague of primals. Even without the threat of tempering to contend with, the Grand Companies have quite a task on their hands. Regardless of Her Grace's protestations to the contrary, it may be best to dispatch a few of our own to assist in this endeavor. Remind me to mention it to Tataru, would you? Though we have won our first battle against the Telophoroi and made significant discoveries to boot, the war has scarcely begun. We must steel ourselves for what lies ahead. Right then. Unless anyone has any objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. And that includes you, Alphino. Arenvald is in good hands here. Of course, he would doubtless mock me for pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire, then, that we might regain our strength and readiness for the coming challenges. If all are in agreement, then, I shall let Kryl know to expect us. A hot bath and a hearty meal shouldn't be beyond arranging with the time available. It will be good to be home. I have some thinking to do. Yes, I'll try asking him. And thank you, I shall look forward to it. Our comrades eagerly await our return, and Kryl in particular has a few matters she is keen to discuss, one of which concerns you, Estinian, believe it or not. You will join us, won't you? Fine. Really? I thought you said you were avoiding that Baldessian woman. If I refused, she would only pursue me. Let's get this over with, shall we? Oh, come on, Estinian. You like hanging out with us. Back to the Rising Stones we go, then. And not that button, this one.
Welcome back. I expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arenvold's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings, and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telophoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldessian will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing. A topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
Well, she didn't necessarily speak to me in the Crystarium. All we heard was hear, feel, think. It was hardly any different from what anybody else there heard. The end of the Dragon Song War, however, she spoke to us directly.
When you regained her blessing, was it not? But never since. Not in all your time in the First, when you faced the Unsundered, the very heart of Zodiark.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the Echo in her Chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in her judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own. And as far as I am able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder, Could Heidelin's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Eorzea high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now, of all times. Estinian, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again. Will you join us?
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo, you inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Thank you, Estinian.
Welcome aboard, Estinian.
Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
I hope we see you again soon, Kryl. You're no less a scion than any of us. But we've got something to look in on at the Imperial Palace.
Well, does this one meet with your approval? Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord! We have only to wait for them to quicken! Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use. Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Well, well, not quite what I was expecting. Though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
And we won't get to see what he's chosen just yet. Amidst all the fighting, it's easy to forget what we've achieved, isn't it? I mean, we cured Tiamat. Tiamat, for heaven's sake! You will tell me if I'm becoming insufferably smug, won't you? Because the way things are going, I feel like it feels like a definite possibility. I wouldn't blame you. None can deny that Heidelin's blessing has been a great boon to our cause, but much remains unknown with regard to her true intentions. Given everything we have learned from our encounters with the Ascians, we must keep our minds open to any and all possibilities. Indeed we must. It strikes me as odd that rather than marching on one of the city-states, the Telophoroi have so far only made sporadic attacks. I doubt they'd go to the trouble of putting up all those towers if that was all they had in store for us. The sudden appearance of the towers will surely not have escaped the Forum's notice. I would like to think that they would be receptive to Kryle's request for cooperation in investigating the matter, but unfortunately their reputation would suggest otherwise. Right. He's also one of the students of Baldessian. He would know better than the rest of us. If I am to pursue this course, I must be prepared for the hardships that lie ahead. If you've need of my lance, I'll be ready. If not, I'll be reserving my strength in preparation of the next battle. But since you're here, I have a question. The Scions are in close contact with the East Aldenard Trading Company of Kugane, yes? I was wondering if they could place an order for some sun-dried squid. I don't seem to be able to find any in these parts. Ah, you've got a fine taste for Far Eastern cuisine, I see. Though we know not the full extent of the Telophoroi's schemes, preventing further abductions must take precedence above all else, for therein lieth the key to depriving our enemy of its most potent weapon. Indeed. Rio, Clemens, and Ephemia are here. And the boulders, well, at least one of the boulders is over there. I wonder where Hori is. I've been keeping me good eye on the towers and telling others to do the same. Of course, I don't mean just us Scions. I've got a whole network of scouts to keep me informed. Clements? Alice it's been teaching me how to cure tempering using a porksy. I must say the thought of being in such close proximity to one of the afflicted is rather daunting. We've sent Coulternay and the others to be our eyes and ears in the field. Wherever the Telophoroi appear next, we'll be among the first to know. Nice, that would be where Hori and Coulternay are then. Aenor is here, of course. Probably thirsting over ochre. Elion. When the towers rose up in Yangxia, my first thought was to stay in Doma to keep my grandfather safe. But when we heard the news of Bahamut's return, he bid me return to the Rising Stones to aid my fellow scions. He sends his regards, by the way. Although Ironvold and I both served as scions, I'm afraid that I have had few opportunities to speak with the lad. I do hope he is fit to return to active duty soon. Here's hoping. Aenor? Hoary Boulder certainly cut a fine figure as he set off on his latest mission. I was sad to see him leave, and my nights will be lonelier with just the one brother to keep me company. Are you suggesting that you have threesomes? I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked. Fucking thirsty-ass bards. Anybody else in here to talk to? No? Alright. Tataru. Well, it looks like I'm going to have a busy few moons. Not that they ever seem to be anything but. Thancred's got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say I don't trust the Alliance, because I do, but when it comes to putting down primals, nobody does it better than us. Well, then you lot, more accurately. You won't catch me trading blows with a primal in the near future. But for every fell fiend you vanquish, there's countless meals to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in, and gladly, mind you. It's the least I can do to support the scions who risk life and limb, like poor Ironvold. I wish there was something we could do for him, but we'll just have to settle for saying the odd prayer and keeping a roof over our heads. It wouldn't do to have him come back to a complete shambles, now would it? But that's enough of my rambling. Off you go and get some rest. If there are any developments, I promise you'll be the first to know. Sounds good to me. Not for naught, indeed. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. The penultimate episode, as it were. For in the next one, if things go as long as I believe they will, that's going to be the final episode of Shadowbringers. It's been a hell of a run, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the end of this expansion and the start, or at least the prequel to the start, of Endwalker. I'm Foxy Games. I'll see you next time. Bye.